Today's video tutorial is the kettlebell clean. So this is a fantastic exercise to learn so you can start to integrate multiple exercises together using kettlebells. So we're going to basically be getting the kettlebell from the floor into the rack position, which is sitting between the bicep and the forearm. So if you've learnt the cheat curl, that's kind of step one. Step two is to actually use the momentum and gravity to bring the kettlebell into that rack position without the assistance of the other arm. So there are a couple prerequisites. You need to have one kettlebell swing, two-handed. You need to have a single arm kettlebell swing, and you also need to have done the kettlebell cheat curl first. Okay, so that's to make sure you know how to hip hinge correctly. It is so you can feel comfortable and use this free arm as a support to generate momentum, and the cheat curl teaches you the correct rack position. Now, the first thing I will say just before I get started on the kettlebell cheat curl is if you are wearing a watch, take it off. The kettlebell sits in this rack position, and with this 16 kilo kettlebell or whatever you're using, flipping and rotating into here, it will crack your screen. So don't take the risk. Take the watch off before you start. Now, I have one fashion accessory, which is not really a fashion accessory. It's actually really useful if you don't want to get beaten up and have bruises all over your arms. So right here I have a couple of sweatbands. These are very old, but these are not just a fashion accessory because they look sexy. They're actually going to save your forearms and help build tolerance and condition your forearms near the wrist to have that kettlebell, so steel or cast iron, repeatedly sort of landing on that position. So I'll show you a couple reps and then I'll talk you through it. So that's a front view. The kettlebell is switched. I go from a thumbs back position and then I loosen the grip off until it sits into the rack. So do not death grip the kettlebell. Yes, the grip needs to be firm in the back swing here, so you don't lose it out the back, but it needs to be loose enough so that you can bring it up the body, okay? So I'll show you from a side view, but I want you to pay attention to the elbow, okay? The elbow should not leave your body. I'll show you a couple poor reps, and then I'll show you a couple good ones. And that kind of hurts. Steel or cast iron smashing into the body. So we want a short arc. Okay, this is where you need to learn to do what's called tame the arc. Elbow stays close to the body as you essentially try to zip up a jacket. Imagine you've got a jacket with a zipper down the middle, goes into the backswing, zip the jacket up. The elbow stays into the body while the kettlebell rotates around the hand into that rack position. I'll show you a couple of good clean reps and you'll see that that kettlebell is not going to smash into me and beat me up. Like so. So you can see I've actually got a fingertip grip on the top. I'm reaching and I'm trying to glide my hand up into the kettlebell. Okay, it's like you're putting on a glove at the top. Okay, so I usually take one step back. And this is a good sign of a rack position, or a sign of a good rack position. Diagonal position along the handle, loose grip. So I can wiggle my fingers here and still maintain a straight wrist. So there is no bent wrists during kettlebell movements. Comes down the body, into the backswing, and that's where this free hand comes in. Driving up into the handle. You can change arms if you have practiced the hand-to-hand swing. If you haven't, you simply park the bell, and then you can rotate it if you choose. I go straight into each clean, like so. Loosen off, drive into the handle. Driving up, like so. So, like I mentioned, you need to have mastered the two-handed kettlebell swing so you can correctly hip hinge. It is not a squat. The hand stays high on the groin. Second thing you must have mastered is the single arm swing. The third thing you must have mastered is the kettlebell cheat curl to learn and get comfortable with the rack position. Once you've done that, you can start incorporating the clean. What I would recommend, if it is brand new for you, is to do a combination of all. Start your session with some two-handed swings. Try a couple single arm, so you get a feel of what that free arm does. Then you try and you just check cheat curl. Am I in the correct position? Is my wrist straight? Can I wiggle my fingers? And then you might want to go like this. So don't feel pressured or forced. Okay, I'm doing cleans, I've got to go clean, I've got to do a clean. Build into it. If you feel comfortable doing single arm swings, do some single arm swings. And then loosen the grip off, keep the elbow close so you're taming the arc and you're driving up into the kettlebell like you're putting on a glove. So there you go, guys. I don't know how many reps I did there, but I can feel a little bit of pressure on my forearms. So these things are quite helpful. There you have it, guys, the kettlebell clean.